Rolling, unless that's me. Looks like that's me. Hey, today's guest is Alexander Lisot, a former F-15 pilot turned entrepreneur, real estate investor, and global businessman. As a graduate of the United States Air Force Academy, he served in multiple locations before launching several ventures across a half dozen continents, from e-commerce to real estate. Now, as the founder of Master of the Military, he's on a mission to help you, veterans, unlock the full value of your service, from unclaimed benefits to long-term wealth building. He's working on his MBA at London Business School and is focused on scaling impact-driven businesses that empower the veteran community while building bridges globally. He's also a rescue diver, DJ, husband, kids. Yeah, he's proven the purpose and adventure can go hand in hand. Welcome, sir. How you doing this fine day?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you, as always, Ernie. Great introduction. My wife definitely does not think I am that cool or think any of that is that awesome, but I do appreciate that.
That's nature. We all of us husbands for a few years can accept that that's life.
Indeed, indeed.
Hey, tell me about the business. What is it you do now, sir?
Okay. Well, what I'd like to do is go ahead and just bring up a PowerPoint. Everybody loves a good PowerPoint, but I promise everybody I'm going to make this all this information as quick as possible, as much information as I can get to you in the shortest amount of time to move you along your day. How does that sound?
Excellent.
Okay, so let me see. All right. All right. How does that look?
Got it.
Everybody see that? Okay, awesome. Everybody, first of all, please forgive me. My 2-year-old was playing with my AirPods, so I'm on the backup plan here. I hope everybody can still hear me okay. But what I want to talk to you about today is I'm not trying to hire you, okay? I'm not trying to get you a job. That's what Seven Eagle is doing. They're here to help you guys out with that. What I want to talk to you about are something that you have access to that you may not even know. And these are your military benefits. So let's rock and roll. Who am I? Ernie gave a great introduction, but just as a recap, again, a little background. I was in the Air Force for 12 years. I'm a real estate investor. I've started numerous businesses. I've kind of lived all over the planet. And right now I'm going through an MBA program at London Business School, which is like a top 10 program out there. And I need to explain a bunch of stuff to you so you understand this. First and foremost, okay, AI is coming for jobs, and you need to be ready for it. It is a tough landscape out there. When we started this program at LBS, we had days and days and days of briefings talking about the job markets in different countries around the world, different industries, everything out there. And pretty much at the beginning of every one of these lectures, they would just say, it's tough out there. It is really, really tough out there. So a recent Forbes article was talking about up to 60% of today's jobs will be transformed or eliminated by AI by 2050. Okay, that was from PwC, McKinsey, and the World Economic Forum. By 2030, 30% of US jobs could be automated, McKinsey. And by 2045, as much as 50% of jobs could be fully automated, and that's from Goldman Sachs. And 300 million jobs worldwide are at risk from AI, once again, from Goldman Sachs. This is the civilian world you're stepping into, and it's way more unstable than you think. You guys and gals that are transitioning out right now, you're facing a landscape that is like nothing else out there. When I got out, when Ernie got out, many years ago, not sure how long Ernie got out, but it's completely different now. I've been in the civilian world coming up on 6 years, and it's an interesting place. So, harsh reality of the job market. I've got some info for you right here. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to show you this because this is direct from London Business School, but I'm gonna lean in on I'd rather ask for forgiveness than ask for permission. So I got a slide for you right here, which is pretty busy. There's a lot going on this, but this is actual data from graduates from 2024, so last year, and it's within 6 months of graduating the MBA program. a lot going on here, but the main number to pay attention to right here is MBA full-time students that graduated that were interested in, I just picked one industry, which is specifically venture capital. Of everyone that wanted to get the job, 3% of people found a job in that industry. And I'll say again, this is one of the best schools on the planet. If people coming from schools like this are struggling to get a job out there, it means things are tough. There's some other programs here, Masters in Finance, same thing, 2%, Masters in Management, all sorts of stuff like that. It's a challenge. But, okay, that's all the gloom and doom. Here's the amazing stuff, all right? You, as a military member / veteran, have a secret weapon to use in the AI economy that is about to change the planet. You have access to military benefits you've already earned. You've already earned it. You've got them right now. You don't need to do anything else. You have access to them. These will not be going away anytime soon. They will be here forever. And you need to start now before you need them later on. Be strategic. Set these things in place now when you don't need them so that later on, in the event of a rainy day, you've got the backup there to help you out. When I say be strategic, when you go from the military world to the civilian world, it's kind of like when you go bowling and you finally take the bumper rails off the side and actually try to bowl. It's more exciting, but there's a lot that can happen to you. What I'd like you to do is think of your military benefits as an insurance plan so that no matter what happens in the future, you can set you and your family up for financial success. They're just there to have in the background. Just a little info here. In a recent message from his desk at the VA, the Secretary of the VA, Doug Collins, addressed media concerns talking about benefits being cut. And what he said is, I'm the Secretary of the VA, and I'm telling you right now, that is not happening. Veteran benefits aren't getting cut. In fact, they're improving them and giving more. So once again, this is really, really powerful stuff that we have access to. Please, please, please understand this. So the $100,000 plus problem most veterans don't even know they have is the majority of veterans don't know how to utilize their benefits. Is there anyone here? Let's say we've got 512 people on the call. I don't know, maybe 10% of them are actually awake or actually sitting at their desks. Who knows? But is there anybody here on this call that feels like they know comprehensively about all of the benefits available to them and how to use them? I'm going to guess there's not. If anybody does jump in and raise their hand, I'm not really monitoring the chat. But yeah, if anybody does or says yes, reach out to this person afterwards, and please reach out to me afterwards because we need to talk. Benefits can be worth 6 or 7 figures over a lifetime. Not for everyone, depending on your situation, but this can be really, really big money. This can completely change the course of the financial future of yourself and your family. When you factor in the increase in net worth that you can gain from investing in real estate, it's absolutely phenomenal. Just some other info for you here. The lowest VA disability rating is worth about $175 a month, and you can get up to almost $5,000 a month, depending on your particular situation. The GI Bill is worth, this year they've upped it again, $29,000 per year towards education, plus a monthly housing allowance. That can be worth a lot of money as well. And owning real estate is the most reliable path to increasing net worth, like I already mentioned. And this is statistically speaking how most millionaires on the planet are made. You have access to this. Talking about real estate, really quick, I just want to touch on the VA loan and how it is an actual superpower that you have access to. Story time, really quick. So take you back. This was, I'm in my early 20s. I'm a butter bar. I'm all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and excited about the world. And one of my first bases where I was training to fly F-15s, I started researching real estate, wanted to get involved with it, wanted to buy a place for myself, wanted to start generating a little income. So we had a commander at the time who was an awesome, incredible commander. Everybody respected him. Everybody liked him. He was a great pilot as well. So I trusted this guy. And I booked a time with him, went into his office, sat down with him and said, hey, sir, I'm really interested in getting into real estate. You've been around the block. You've been in the military decades now. I need your advice. What should I do about this? Should I start investing here? And he sat me down and he said, Nope, you should not do it here. You can only use your VA loan once, and you shouldn't blow that here in this small town. You should wait until later on in your life when you're married with kids and you want to buy your forever home. And it was in that moment that I realized that people that had been in the military for decades, a lieutenant colonel in 05, had no idea how to use all aspects of a VA loan because no one had ever taught him. So here's some info for you that after 20 years, this guy didn't know, and you're going to know now. You probably already know this and have heard of this, but a VA loan enables you to buy a property with a 0% down payment. There are other fees and costs that come along with it. So you're pretty much never going to walk away with, no money out of pocket. And anyone that tells you that you are is full of nonsense. But it's compared to what your civilian brethren can do out there, it's phenomenal. Basically no money to buy a property. Also, you can use your VA loan multiple times. Just because you use it once, it's not a one and done thing. So multiple times out there. And a VA loan can be used to purchase up to a 4-unit property. This is the secret. This is the superpower of the VA loan. You can use it with almost no money down to buy cash flow producing real estate. You can buy a single family home, you can buy a duplex, you can buy a triplex, you can buy a fourplex. So using the fourplex as an example, that was what I ended up buying, even though my commander recommended I didn't. I bought it. All 4 units were already rented out. I booted one person because they were moving out anyways, moved into that unit. The other 3 were already rented. And my mortgage wasn't just my mortgage covered every month. I was actually cash flow positive from day one. Started making money from the get-go. And that was kind of the first snowball effect for me. And just some data for you. In 2025, the typical homeowner's net worth is about $430,000 compared to around $10,000 for renters. If you aren't using your VA loan, you are wrong. You need to use it, but you need to use it in a smart way. Talking about the GI Bill, I'm going to teach you more in the next 5 minutes about the GI Bill than you probably know, and some really cool hacks that you can use out there to help you and your family out. Just a basic info for you. The GI Bill pays for full tuition at state schools, so all of it, and up to $29,000 per year at private schools. They have this thing called the Gold Ribbon Program at most private schools that covers the difference, so you don't have to worry about that. So it still ends up being pretty much free. With that, you also get a monthly housing allowance. This is something a lot of people don't know. The monthly housing allowance is E5 with dependents, BAH, depending on where you're living. If you're in Dallas, Texas, for example, that's an additional $2,529 a month while you're in the program. If you're going somewhere like, say, Columbia or NYU, and you're living in Manhattan, New York, that's an extra $5,073 a month in your pocket to help out with cost of living. Stuff other people don't know, or other stuff people don't know, is you can also use it for vocational training. Trade schools, flight school, truck driving school, cybersecurity certs. You can use your VA loan for all sorts of things. It doesn't have to be a typical 4-year program or community college or whatever. Even if you have a degree, you can use this for something else. And while you're using it for something else, you can be collecting that $2,000, $3,000 a month for your monthly housing allowance. Apprenticeships, you can actually work, and while you're working, get paid by the VA while you're learning how to have your next job. So on-the-job training apprenticeships out there as well. And once again, if you don't use this, it's just wasted money. It's money that you can access. All you have to do is set it up. Disability and healthcare. Let's talk about this. Okay. Veterans in general really struggle with the concept of a disability rating. And I can tell you, having got out, when I first got out and people talked about a disability rating, I looked down at myself and I was like, all right, I've got 10 fingers and 10 toes. I don't need a disability rating. I'm all good here. If you are eligible for something, going to get it is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. It's money that then you can use to invest in yourself, your family. It's money you can set aside for kids' college. It's money you can set aside to buy another property. It is just a way to help yourself. So if you're eligible for it, don't waste it because it's an amazing benefit that you have. It's tax-free income for the rest of your life. Just some quick numbers again for you. 10% is $175 a month. 100% rating is $4,000 a month. And then there's an additional ones you can tack on depending on your particular situation that can end up being almost $5,000 a month. Another thing people do not know, if you get a 30% rating or above, you are entitled to free healthcare for the rest of your life. Free healthcare forever in the United States of America, which is insane. It is through the VA, so be aware of that. But if you just want to talk about having a backup plan, like no matter what the situation is, no matter what potential medical problem you could have later on, you're set, you're free, you don't have to worry about it. Another thing most people don't know, if you are 100% permanent and total disabled, so not everyone is eligible for this, I'd say fewer people are, but if you do get that rating, all of your children are eligible for a version of the GI Bill automatically. They can all have free college, all of them. Doesn't matter if you have 10 kids, they can all go and do it. And then the other one that no one knows about is if you have any student loans when you get this rating, they're forgiven. Student loans, poof, gone overnight. So I don't know if any of you out there have that, but something to consider as well. Big advice I'm going to give everyone here. I'm not sure where everyone is at in terms of their transition out of the military, but if you're still in, make sure at your final med appointment, you go down and you talk to that doc, and anything that has ever bothered you in the military, at least mention it. Bring it up to them so that it goes on your military medical records that this was something bothering you while you were in the military. It doesn't matter how big or how small. Get it documented. Let's see. And just kind of going back to what I said at the start here, just because you don't think you're eligible for it, like that's not your decision. There's guidelines out there by the VA, set up by the VA, and trust me, if you don't deserve it, they won't give it to you. So let them make the decision. You don't decide. Something a little more fun here. Not everybody knows this stuff, but if you're still in the military, you can get free premium credit cards. I know a lot of people are getting out, so it's not going to be something that lasts forever, but I've got some info for you on that. Just as an idea, did you know that the Amex Platinum costs $895 a year to have and gives you benefits worth over $3,500 a year? If you are in the military, they waive that $900 a year fee. Awesome. Chase Sapphire Reserve costs $800 a year, benefits worth over $2,700 a year. They waive that fee for military members. You can get that for free. My recommendation for you is to go ahead and get these if you don't have them now, because I'll tell you in just a second. I had the Amex Platinum, Chase Sapphire Reserve, and then these other like Barclays cards. They used to have a Barclays Black card. I think still exists, but they don't do it free for military anymore. Had all these cards when I was active duty. I get out of the military. A couple months later, Amex sends me a letter and says, hey, you're out of the military. Starting next year, we're going to have to start charging you the annual fee. So I call up Amex and I say, you know what? I've been a great customer for you guys for years and years and years. I'm just really not interested in paying this fee. I think I'm going to have to cancel my card. They turn around to me and they say, you know what? We'd actually like to keep you on. If you pay $50 a year, would you do that? And I said, yes. Boom. I'm now locked in $50 a month forever to have or $50 a year to have an Amex Platinum. I'm not sure if the same situation can happen with you, but it doesn't hurt to ask. Chase Sapphire Reserve, same thing happened. I called up Chase and they told me to pound sand. I have to pay for that every year. Didn't work. And then the Barclays cards that I have, same thing. I called them up and said I was going to cancel, and they said, go ahead and keep them. So if you don't have them already, sign up for these now before you get out of the military, and then talk to the provider afterwards. Especially Amex is usually really good about working with you on their fee. Lastly, like as just kind of a big summary for all this is you all are sitting here in working with Seven Eagle or Allegiant Vets or whoever it is, and you're putting a lot of work into getting a job, into the next stage of your career, which is smart. Make sure you put that same level of effort into accessing benefits that you've already earned. Like I said, you've already earned these. So put a little effort into learning how to use them, because you're putting all this work into getting a job that may or may not work out, but this is stuff that is 100% will work out for you with a little bit of effort and lasts forever. To tie that all together, to talk about why I am here, I have set up a community called Master the Military. We've been running for a few months now. We've got over 140 active members. We put together a bunch of courses on how to max perform all your different benefits ethically. Everything I touched on today, we go super in depth about all of that, and then we have lots of other information as well. It's a community of like-minded military members and veterans. Everybody's on the same page, working together to reach their goals. And then we also have calls with subject matter experts to teach the most up-to-date info on these different subjects. The end goal for the community is to help every single military member and veteran reach financial freedom, where you get to decide where you want to live, if you want to work, what kind of job you want to have, because you've got enough going on in the background financially. You don't need to worry about any of this other stuff. And as a heads up, we're offering a massive discount to any 7 Eagle members or anyone that comes to us from this call. So if you are interested, please go to masterthemilitary.com. You'll see some info on there and my gooby face on another little video where you can book a call with a member of me or my team. And I'll just say again, please invest in yourself and your future. Put a little work into things that are going to help you out for years and decades to come. That's all I got. Questions? What's going on here? Short and sweet.
keep it saying, hey, Paul, go ahead.
Hey there, Alex. Just a quick question from your personal experience. What's the big difference between Amex Platinum and the Chase Sapphire Reserve? I've got Chase, and I've been able to use it successfully throughout Europe, Asia, South and North America. And I've also heard rumors from friends overseas they had difficulties with Amex Platinum. So can you give me the benefit of your experience?
Yeah. Of the two, I personally think Chase is better. You can use Chase more places. It works more for me. Going abroad, you can use the Amex fewer places. They've just changed the way the point structures work in the two different cards. So I'm not 100% with the new change. I usually use my Amex Platinum to purchase my own plane tickets direct because you get 5x points versus when you do it with Chase, you only get 3 points per dollar spent. But that's the best thing I can think of off the top of my head. There's a lot of benefits that overlap between the two of them, to be completely honest.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, man. No worries. What else?
Hey, go ahead, Timmy.
Yeah, so you mentioned that you can use the military GI Bill for flight school. I am actually trying to go through I guess a Part 61 right now. I'm trying to get my private pilot's license because eventually I would like to cross over and go into like commercial pilot license and stuff like that. I was just wondering, what GI programs have you seen out there? Because I have seen zero for PPLs. I've went to my local family readiness office and they got nothing as well. So it seems like there's kind of a gate or a barrier between getting your private pilot's license and all the rest of them, because I see there's programs for all the rest of your instrument rating, your MEI, CFI, CFII. I see programs for that stuff, but I don't see any programs for PPLs.
And that's because there aren't. There is zero for PPL because PPL is just considered recreational. That's just for fun. It's when you start using it to get actual certifications and ratings that you can work with later on. That's where they'll pay for it. So you got to pay for it yourself to get through the PPL, which sucks.
Gotcha. That is a that is a gate. I actually got a flight later on today.
All right, awesome, man. Enjoy.
But yeah, that is I fell in love with flying and it's been amazing. I'm sure you understand.
I miss it. I miss it every single day.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Especially burning somebody else's gas.
Exactly. It's much more fun when someone else is paying for it.
Yeah.
True. It's still a blast though. It's still a blast.
Hey, Ricky, go ahead.
Hey there, I guess I have a comment for Tim, really quick. So Timmy, if you're listening, you could still pay for the school and use the GI Bill to pay for everything that they're going to be teaching you. So ground school, classes, all that good stuff, right? But my question is for Alexander. Of course, first of all, the AMX card. I love that idea. That was absolutely just instrumental. I'm definitely going to reach out to them and see if I can do that. I've been a customer for like a year and a half now, so it's a good idea. But also, you were mentioning the GI, but I'm sorry, the VA benefits, right? As soon as you reach that 30%, you have free health care for the rest of your life through the VA. I just wanted to know if I remember correctly, there's like ratings or levels to it or whatever, like where they can take you at certain times and stuff. I was curious if you knew any more details about that.
So I'm not a personal expert on the whole system, but I know generally the way that it works is any veteran can go in with, you don't have to have any disability rating whatsoever. You can go into the VA and they'll treat you. Depending on the situation, depending on all the details, you have to pay for it sometimes, and then you'll have to wait a long time. As you go up through the different ratings, 10%, 20%, 30%, you go through you become a higher priority group, and you have to pay for fewer things. And it's at 30%. So it's basically like it's almost free anyways, no matter what. But when you get up to 30%, it's actually free, and you can actually use it as kind of like a normal health service that you would. You can call them up just like a normal doc, book appointments, go in. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Awesome. No worries, Ricky.
Hey, shoot, Mark. Hey, Mark, you might be muted if you're going to talk.
Man, I was going on for a bit, and I missed all that. Don't worry, it was just a compliment, so I'll just leave it. We'll just throw that out. I've had the Amex Platinum and the Chase Sapphire Reserve for about a decade, and they're both phenomenal. I agree with that. I've heard people just getting billed, and that's how they find out. I didn't know that there was a courtesy note that goes out to say we're about to do it in a month or something like that. That's one question. The other question I had was concerning the VA loan. That has to be your own property, correct? It can't be for like, hey, I want to buy a quadruplex, and then, I mean, I guess you could say, and I'm going to move into it, but you're not really going to. So I just want to know the clarification on both of those. Over.
Yeah, sure. So regarding the Amex Platinum, this was years ago. I don't know what they're doing now. Regardless, even if you all of a sudden see a charge on there, like really the best thing to do is just don't do anything. So get out of the military, wait and see what they do. If you get a letter, cool. If they charge you, cool, whatever. Wait for them to charge you, call them up if you have a charge or if you get a letter and say, hey, here's the situation. Yes, I'm now out. I've been a longtime customer. I'm no longer able to pay this, or I'm not interested in paying this fee. And then you see what happens. Depending on the time, depending on the year, depending on the person that you speak with, you don't know what can happen. The worst thing they'll do is say no. If they've just recently charged you like a few days before or whatever, and you say you want to cancel, they'll refund you it and cancel you and get you out of there. They won't keep you in for a year. They're pretty cool about it. Regarding the VA loan, that's 100% correct. So the VA loan is only for buying yourself a property as a primary residence. I would definitely not recommend doing anything shady whatsoever, trying to buy it. Say you're going to move in and then not actually move in. Don't mess around with that. Like, follow the rules. But what I will say is cool is you only have to live in the property for a year, and then you can go use your VA loan again. You can move. Or if, for example, you buy it, you move into one of the units, and then life happens, you need to move somewhere else for job, whatever else, you can move away. Like the VA isn't going to force you to stay living in the property. So if you do buy a multifamily, then yes, you buy the whole place, you move into one of the units, you have to actually move into it, but you can rent out the other ones. Cool.
Hey, fire, Darren.
Hey, good morning. I just had kind of a random question, Alex. Do you know a fellow student over there at the London Business School? His name is Nicholas Latifi.
I don't. Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay,
There's like 1,000 and 2,000 of us running around.
absolutely. Yeah, I know. That's cool. Well, compliments for getting in, man. That's a hard school to get into, and I wish you all the best.
Awesome. Thanks, Darren. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, Jonathan, go ahead.
Hey, Alexander, thanks for everything. A lot of good, solid gold nuggets that you've given us today, and all of us really appreciate that. My question for you is regards to entrepreneurship. How, in your eyes, is the best way to reinvigorate legislation. What I mean by that is throughout my research, it looks like legislation has been presented, but it's been nixed for now with regards to using the GI Bill for capital for veterans and those that have separated, so that they can start their own entrepreneurship. What is your advice on reinvigorating that and bringing it to the table again?
In terms of bringing that to the table, I have no idea. I have no idea how one would do that or bring that up for discussion again. What I will say is there actually is a program out there officially run by the VA for providing startup capital to veterans. A lot of people don't know this, but the VR&E program. You only have access to this if you have a disability rating, and there's a lot of nuances to it, and it's a bit of a hard program to get approved for. But if you do get approved for VR&E, they help veterans that want to be self-employed. And what that means is they help with business planning and capital to start up differing amounts of money. So if that's something you're interested in, I would definitely do some research on VR&E. Sorry, I couldn't answer the other bit. I have no idea how to bring that to the table right now.
No, that's okay. Because, coming from just John Earl, they're going to be like, okay, yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it. But, having voices that are probably more powerful would have more in effect. So that's why I figured I'd ask. But thank you very much. I appreciate that.
No worries.
Well, go ahead, Clint.
Hey, Alex, thanks for coming and talking to us today.
Yeah, no worries.
The one thing that so I've had my Amex Platinum for a hot minute now, probably like over a decade. Yeah, definitely over a decade by now. But one of the things that I've been told by those ahead of me is I like your plan. But one thing that I've been told, and I would like to note for discussion, and tell me if I'm wrong, is that if you catch the wrong person on the wrong day and they're not willing to do anything for you, don't close the account, because that would affect your credit rating, but rather ask them to transfer it into a lower cost card or a no fee card that still fits. That way you still have the age of that account, which helps your credit.
Clint, that's a great catch right there. Definitely. You 100% should never close any credit card account that you have, because you want that. It's going to hurt your credit score, or could theoretically hurt it. So what you want to do is exactly what you said. Call up and say, I want to downgrade to whatever free version of this card that I can have. I'm not sure what the Amex Platinum's equivalent free version is, or if there is a way to actually downgrade to a free version of it. But correct, you definitely don't want to close out an account ever. Good catch, man.
Hey, go ahead, sir. Adrian, I think Adrian, you're up next.
Yeah, how you doing? Thank you for all the advice. I have a question for the VA loan and about the duplex or quadruplex. So let's say I have the 100% disability and they don't charge me property taxes. How is it gonna work for the house like duplex if I rent one side and I live in the other side?
As in, will you be charged property tax or not?
Yes.
Off the top of my head, I'm not 100% sure. If I'm pretty sure if it's a place like Texas, it's just 100% waived. You don't have to pay property tax on it whatsoever. It doesn't matter if it's a 1, 2, 3, or 4-plex, because it's all the same tax ID. It could be different in different states, though. So I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, that's going to be dependent on jurisdiction.
Okay. So basically, if you're making that house like a business, you're renting the other side, you don't have to pay for the government any type of taxes for rent.
I
No,
would
you-
I would strongly suggest that you work that through a lawyer before you build that out like that.
Okay.
Know the law for where it's at.
Yeah, I don't know who's speaking or saying that, but I agree 100%. No, you still do have some taxes that you need to pay, and wherever you're living, yeah, consult with an attorney about whatever makes the most sense.
All right. Thank you.
Always a good idea. Hey, Paul, go ahead.
Awesome, thanks. Hey, regarding VR and E, some information on that. Actually, I was curious. My eventual goal is to own my own vineyard in Europe and make wine.
I love that.
So the complicating factor for that is I definitely don't have enough money for that. Basically need capital, at least about €500,000 just to kind of get land and get started. Is there any chance that the government would actually help me get that business started earlier? Because like I said, it's going to take me about 10 years to save up for that.
Yep. Yes, short answer. They can help you out. I don't know how you would need to structure it, but a thing about VR&E is if you're going to use it for anything overseas, you need to have a reason for why it needs to be overseas. So for me, my wife is British, so I have a foreign spouse, which then gives me the excuse that I have a hardship that I need to reside overseas, which is why then VR&E can help me out when I'm over here in a different country. If you don't have any of those hardship stuff, you're gonna have a really hard time getting in to approve anything like that. But if it's something that you could start in the States and then later on you move it over on your own, then they definitely help you out.
Awesome, thanks. I mean, that is the idea. Get married overseas, and then I guess the excuse is better wine.
Hey, man. When you make that happen, please reach out to me. Come hang
Roger
out.
that, yeah. Yeah, no
It's the only
worries.
place to get the proper terroir. You know,
Yes, yes.
hey, Gilbert, go ahead.
Hey, first of all, I apologize for lack of video. I'm actually driving. Alexander, appreciate all the great information that you've been providing. My question is, do you have any knowledge or experience in using the VA loan to buy a property overseas?
You can't do it. Just
Cannot?
you cannot use your VA loan to buy property overseas. I think maybe you can use it for like territories, like maybe in Guam and Puerto Rico, but you definitely can't go to Spain and use your VA loan. 0% chance.
Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and that's a huge bummer. I would have loved to use mine for that as well, but
yeah, no kidding. Cynthia, go ahead.
Hello, I have a personal question since you mentioned your wife being British. Do you know what benefits, if any, can we use? So I'm Army retiring, hoping to get 100% disability. My stepdaughter, she's in Europe, but she doesn't have a US Social Security card. So do you know if I could extend any benefits to her without her having a Social Security?
yeah, so what you need to do is what I did for my wife and my kids is you can file for I think it's called an ITIN, ITIN number with the IRS. So it's like it creates a social security number for them. It's not social security, but it's an identification number that then you can use for any of your stuff. So for example, when you get your disability set up, or if you do get that set up and you want to add them on as dependents, you need to have an ITIN, an ITIN to use for them. And there are some benefits that you can steer that way.
I really appreciate that. Everyone I've asked had no clue of what to do. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No worries.
Awesome. Hey, go ahead, Dante.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, perfect. Sweet. So another personal question is I was very intrigued about you being a pilot, but really intrigued when you mentioned something about being a rescue diver. How did you get into that, and what made you pursue that? Because I'm definitely into diving, been doing it, CCR diver, tech diver, ANTD. Yeah, tell me a little bit more about that, please.
Okay, well, so Ernie made it sound much cooler than it is. I just have a rescue diver certification. I'm not an active rescue diver out there, but I've been diving for years and years now. And so I spent the last 5 years as a full-time digital nomad, kind of traveling all over the planet. And we've been hanging out in Central America a lot. And what's amazing about Central America is on the Caribbean side, the diving's amazing. And on the Pacific side, the surfing's amazing. So we would just hop back and forth to different towns on both sides and either go diving or go surfing. So that's when I got really into it. But I'm a recreational diver with a rescue dive cert. I'm not a dive master or anything like you got going on there as a hardcore tech
All
diver.
good. No worries. No worries. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Nice speaking with you.
Okay, go ahead and fire, Kev.
Hi, Alex. You mentioned a discount for your program. Could you go over what some of the fees are for membership to sign up to?
Yep. So I'm not at liberty to discuss anything on this call just because this call is being blasted out all over the place. It's on LinkedIn and all sorts of places. So if you are interested, please just either shoot me an email or book a call with me or my team and we'll talk about it. I can give you all the information there. I just can't put it out everywhere because once I start talking numbers out there and people see the discount you guys are getting, it wouldn't be fair to everybody else. So sorry to shut you
Don't
down.
screw up a good thing, in other words. Anybody else got any questions to fire out? Awesome. Alex, any parting thoughts you'd like to share, sir?
Only thing I want to say is once again, like when you get out of the military, this is an extremely exciting time. I see a lot of beards, really scruffy, awful beards that I'm sure your wives are loving. But like really understand that you are on your own and a lot of things that you took for granted that the military did for you, like a steady paycheck, just kind of keeping you on track, having a routine, having a mission, having a purpose, all that stuff evaporates overnight as soon as you stop wearing that uniform for the last time. So make sure you know what your next mission and what your next purpose is. And that's something that we're working towards with Master of the Military is we want everyone to kind of have that mission and purpose where every day they get up and they know what they're working towards, which is the financial success for themselves and their family. So yeah, good luck, everyone. You're going to crush it.
Hey, Alex Lisot, Master of the Military, former Eagle driver and world traveler. I thank you once again for coming on, spending a little bit of time with us and dropping some wisdom, brother. And we will be back here at